McCaskill just has a way of really making it awkward and ugly.
Hi and welcome to The Real Women of Boxing, episode 11. My name is Jacqui-Lee Pryce, and today's guest is the new WBA Gold World Lightweight title holder, Jessica Camara. Hey, how you doing?
How are you doing?
I can't complain. So how are you coming off the win that we will talk about a little bit later, but feeling good at the minute?
I'm feeling great. Still a little bit, I'm getting over the jet lag, but I'm doing good. I'm feeling good.
So we'll get to your story a little bit later, but let's talk about the fight that happened on Saturday night between Canelo Alvarez and Jamie Mungia. I hope I said that right. For the super middleweight championship. Did you see the fight?
I did. I was up watching the fight. It was a great fight. I thought that Jamie Mungia started off great. I was actually getting a little bit nervous. I was like on my toes in the beginning of the fight, but I figured Canelo was just taking his time. He was setting up those shots. Canelo's just on a different level. He's just way too powerful for him, and he took the fight.
It's one of those things, and I don't mean this as a disrespect, but sometimes I feel a little bit like, should we even bother to tune in? Because we know what the outcome is possibly going to be. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But you've seen him against Bivol, right? It can happen, right? It's just Canelo's just on that different level. And I feel like he's had 40 plus fights already. He's on that decline, so everyone's just waiting for that moment.
No, they're praying for that moment
for someone to take over. Like you said, he's in control of his career, so he's taking it. He's being careful with the fights that he.
Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya was hoping for a changing of the guard in the fight between Canelo and Mungia. So yeah, there was obviously then that anticipation. He's younger, he's 6 years younger. But I think going back to one of the things that you said, he lets them into the fight early and then he lulls them into a false sense of security and then it's no. To be fair, he actually set that up. I think before he threw the uppercut, I think he tapped him and then he threw and he countered his counter. And I thought, you know what? That was nice, sneaky, clean. And he was right in range. It was a short range shot, wasn't it?
He was just waiting for the opening, right? He was waiting for Mungia to just let his hands go, look for that opening. And he got him with that nice uppercut. I seen that uppercut the whole night because he was leaning forward a little bit. And I was saying, I'm like, he's going to hit him with that uppercut. And he got him with some nice body shots, too.
Yeah. That whole switch up body shots to the head is to be fair, the variety to the head, to the body, the precision.
Love his counter punches.
It is, if you like that type of boxing, if you like intelligent boxing, if you want to learn technical boxing, you need to watch an Alvarez fight, don't you, really?
100%.
It went the distance. Mungia was a really good opponent. He got knocked down in the third or the fourth round?
I think it was the fourth. My TV actually paused right at that moment, so I missed the whole knockdown.
The important moments when you miss, your video freezes, and then you're like,
I missed it.
What's going on? And then the next minute you have to watch the slow-mo.
But yeah, they replayed it in the highlights, so I got to see it.
Quality, absolutely quality. I absolutely love watching Canelo, whatever anyone wants to say about him outside of the ring. He is one of the greats, isn't he?
Yeah, at the moment, I feel like he's the greatest fighter. Easier in that respect, that's for sure.
A little bit of, let's say, beef before the fight between him and Oscar De La Hoya. He was saying, Oscar, that basically Golden Boy had built his career, Canelo's career. Do you think that there was a little bit of sour grapes on Golden Boy's side in terms of how well that Canelo is doing now, especially without them? There was a little bit of, let's say, inside information brought up. Do you think that's right?
I mean, I feel like Oscar has a point. He did build his beginning of his career. So in a way, he wouldn't be where he's at right now if it wasn't for Golden Boy. You got to give, your promoter that respect. you don't make it that far alone, right? There's other people behind it, and I feel like Oscar did play a role in that. And yeah, he does have a point, but it wasn't just him that made him the star he is today. He was just one part of that.
There was information brought up about the failed drug tests, Canelo's failed drug tests, or 2 failed drug tests. On the flip side, I think Canelo had something to say about De La Hoya going into, I think he's been into rehab and whatever.
It seems like it's quite personal between them.
So should people that have acquired information whilst they're either working, managing or training a fighter, should they spill the tea on that, on inside information? Is it fair game because it's just it's all business, or is that something that people should really keep to themselves?
I think it should be kept to themselves, but as you can see, like, the situation seemed to be quite personal, and they were really getting on each other's skin, under their skin, so they were just... I was actually afraid that Canelo wasn't going to be focused because of... I thought Oscar De La Hoya was a little bit of a distraction for Canelo. Yeah, clearly not.
Yeah, in terms of people spilling the tea, I think it's one of them things that I see fighters all the time that, let's say, they play nice in public and they don't really like each other behind the scenes. Is that something that you think people should just be professional and keep their mouth shut? Do you know what I mean?
Well, the sport, it's all about entertainment too, right? So people like to see that stuff behind the scenes. Gives it a little bit of spice.
I'm not a fan of it, if I'm honest. I think if something you've told somebody in confidence, regardless of whether you're still in a relationship with them, if you're in a business relationship with them, if you're friends or not, I think you should just keep it to yourself. But yeah, I guess business is business, isn't it? And any piece of information is an advantage.
That business goes sour, it's bound to happen.
There's too many snakes in the grass. Coming up on I think it's the 11th of May, I hope I've got that date right, Lauren Pryce versus Jessica McCaskill. What are your thoughts on that upcoming fight?
A great fight. McCaskill's been in there with many of the greats. She's made it to the top. She's been undisputed. She's a strong fighter and she can make it an awkward fight. She comes in with big, powerful shots. Lauren Pryce is a prospect. She's got a extensive amateur career. I feel like if she takes control of the fight and boxes McCaskill, she will come up victorious. But McCaskill just has a way of really making it awkward and ugly and taking advantage of that, right? And she can come out victorious too, right? It's just one of those fights that just depends on who follows the game plan and stays in control of the fight. What are your thoughts?
To be honest, I agree with a lot of what you said. So McCaskill, I think, and I don't mean this is disrespectfully, I think she looks easier than she actually is. Until people get in the ring with her, she's a very awkward fighter.
She is, yeah.
She's not orthodox, so therefore people will think, I think in their head, it's like, oh, she's probably easy to beat. They get in the ring with her, she's throwing shots from awkward angles, she's tricky, she's got a great engine. Yes, technically it's not all perfect and she's not compact and that, but listen, she gets the job done. What I will say, though, is after having seen Sandy Ryan against her, I think if her opponent, as in Lauren Pryce, just sticks to her boxing and doesn't get involved with Jessica McCaskill, then I think she beats her. But I'm not saying that just because Lauren Pryce is British, etc. I think if Jessica McCaskill has to go in there and make it dirty and rough her up and fight her fight in order to beat, I think, Lauren Pryce.
Yeah, if Lauren gets lured into that, then that's when she'll be facing troubles. But like you're saying, if she sticks to the plan and just boxes her, she should get the job done.
So I think Jessica McCaskill has the ability to beat a boxer.
Have we seen Jessica outbox a boxer when they get involved? Can you give me an explanation or an example?
We've seen that against Cecilia Brackhouse. She got the decision over Sandy Ryan, but A lot of people don't agree with that decision. But again, you saw her able to maneuver around a boxer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, but like I said, it's boxer, the person she's fighting can get lured into the way she's fighting. And I think that's what she did with Cecilia. She took advantage of many opportunities in the fight to really make it awkward and make it her fight, right? It can happen with this fight. Just a matter of, is Lauren Price able to, take control and box her?
It's head and heart though, isn't it? Everyone's super competitive and sometimes you can literally get lured in. And I think what McCaskill does very well, she's able to just draw you in, just tap into something.
Yeah, that's just her way of fighting.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a lag. That's why I'm waiting for you. I think you finished and then I'm not sure if you finished or not. So sorry about that.
A little delayed.
So in recent news, Chantel Cameron has signed with Queensberry Promotion here with Frank Warren. So she's left Matchroom and she's now with Queensberry Promotions. What are your thoughts on that move?
I don't really know the inside scoop of what happened with her in Matchroom. From what I see, she was unhappy with the Katie Taylor fight and maybe not getting the rematch. But I mean, she did what she had to do. I don't really like to get in fighters' business, but I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure why or what happened. But maybe you can clue me in on that.
I read somewhere apparently they let her go. I'm not sure whether they let her go or whether she left. But coming back to your point is she was unhappy, she saw an opportunity, and she's now with a different promoter. And I think you have to grasp the opportunity. This is a short career and you have to grasp all the opportunities. She's gone to an absolutely fantastic promoter as well in Frank Warren. Great opportunities to be had because of that whole Riyadh season. Chantel was saying that she felt at the bottom of the pile. She's now with Grant Smith, new trainer, new team. Would that put extra fire in her belly now? Like a reset? Is it a reset with extra fire in your belly?
For sure. She's given this other opportunity, so now it's like she has another chance to prove herself. See where the opportunity takes her.
I think it's a good move. With that whole Riyadh season, there's now that 5x5, which is obviously Matchroom versus Queensberry.
Crazy. But yeah, I like, what next for her.
So people are talking about, obviously, Taylor fading or her career fading. But then in that second fight against Chantel Cameron, she put on a really good performance, obviously got the win. So she can't be really counted out. But who would you say, or in your opinion, wins between Serrano and Katie Taylor?
That's a hard one because that first fight was crazy. I feel like both fighters are arguably at the end of their career. They've done great things. And like we were saying with Canelo, right? Waiting for the moment where he's going to be fading. I feel like this fight's like a 50-50. It's a 50-50. Like, I really don't know. I can't give you my opinion on who's going to be the winner. Just have to wait and see. That's why this fight is so big. It's so great because it can go either way.
I've been back and forth on this because people say, oh, Katie Taylor's at the end of her career. And they've been saying that for years. And then she comes back and she puts on crazy good performances and gets the win. And then, as you say, Serrano's had, I think, 50 odd fights, I think.
She's around 50. Around 50.
Yeah. She's had around 50 fights. Arguably, yes, she's going to start to slow down and taper off. Obviously, Chantel wanted that fight with Katie Taylor. She chose to go a different route and go with Serrano. Arguably, that's the bigger fight, with Serrano being on the MVP platform. Is this a case of like, whoever wins this fight, number one, can cash out, wave goodbye, and be like, you know what, we gave a good account of ourselves in the boxing arena, and it's time to retire?
It's a good way to go out, I think. That's a huge fight. It's a rematch everyone's been waiting to see. So it's a good move. Yeah, you win this fight, hang the gloves up. You made your legacy, right?
I cannot honestly, I'm not just sitting on the fence. I actually can't make a decision because of the things that we've mentioned. Like, they're both at the back end. I think that every time you think either of those two are fading, they pull something out from somewhere and put on a great performance. I know that Chantal was very disappointed, but I also understand that the platform with Serrano and Katie Taylor is probably a bigger fight. And at this stage in the career, I think they have to be slightly selfish and make as much money as they can. And then, do you think after this fight, whoever loses will retire?
I don't think either of them would want to go out that way. I think they'd want to go out. If they lose, they want to have that one last fight, retire as a victor.
But then the argument is, why would you go for... They're both dangerous fighters. Why not take an easy fight?
Why shouldn't they not take an easy fight? This is a fight that... This is a money, right? Ultimately, they're in there to make money, build a legacy, and this is the fight to do it.
I understand you're gunning for Katie Taylor as well.
I would love that fight myself.
So you're hoping she don't retire, basically?
No.
I hear you. So Sandy Ryan is another one that's been getting in the mix. That's a potential fight in the future for Chantal Cameron. Having seen a little bit of what Sandy Ryan can do, what would you make of that fight?
I feel like Sandy Ryan's improving. I've seen an improvement in her last few fights. That would be a great fight. I feel like I would be edging for Chantal Cameron on that. Just stylistically, I feel like she would edge it.
It's interesting because Chantal is saying that she doesn't want to give her the opportunity because there's been a lot of personal beef. And I understand trying to whip up a bit of interest into to get bums on seats to a fight. However, I think it's got a little bit too personal. So Chantal now doesn't want to fight her. She thinks she's rude, etc., nasty, whatever. She used some much stronger words. But is that something that...
I feel like it kind of has something to do with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn. I don't know if Eddie Hearn's involved with that. Like I said, I don't really get into people's businesses. Like, when there's beef, I don't really dig into it. But... I feel like maybe it has something to do with that also.
But isn't it interesting? I think, and I do think this is a woman thing, and I hold my hands up. I'm with Chantal. I'm petty like that. I won't give somebody an opportunity either. But would the right thing to be is to set that aside, because men can do it, set it aside, this is business, and just fight? Because, to be fair, it would be an absolutely cracking fight. Or are you the type of person that's petty like me and wouldn't let a fight?
I don't like to deal with drama, really, at the end of the day. When somebody's being nasty like that, I wouldn't even give them the opportunity. But I feel like this is a fight. This is a good fight to be made. And I feel like in time, when the time is right, it probably will happen.
I just hope it doesn't get... I've seen some of the stuff on Twitter and it's just not needed, to be fair. It's really not needed. But I guess this is a fight game.